My name is Nadine Ness. I'm a retired police officer, a mother of 3, the wife of a family doctor, and most recently, the founder and president of Unified Grassroots. Unified Grassroots is a not-for-profit organization that was born merely a few months ago. At a grassroots level, we have over 10,000 people in this province. Our main goal is to fight the division and hate that's spreading across the province. I've tried to get a hold of Scott Moe. I've called their MLAs several times. Some I was able to reach, but it didn't matter who I was able to reach. No one seemed to listen to our concerns. They seem to have their own way of doing things, and they're not open to listening and representing the people of Saskatchewan. This is not the government we had when Brad Wall was at the helm. This past couple of days, I've been doing a little bit of research, and I kind of fell upon the guiding principles of the Sask Party. And I have to say, when I read them, I actually really, really like them. I could say I would even stand by most of what they said. However, it was really apparent to me how far they've strayed from that. They talk about supporting the private sector, supporting small businesses, making government smaller, being less intrusive, supporting freedom and equality for everyone, a good healthcare system, balanced budget, good spending, or I should say less spending, lower taxes. When I was reading all of that, I was like, yes, this is what I want. But then I realized that's not what we're getting. And this message is to Scott Moe, to appeal to him to take a look at them. I'm wondering if anyone at the Sask Party has looked at those in the last 2 years. And some might say, well, these are only for when times are good. The problem is the guiding principles are created so when you go through tough time, you don't lose your way. It's not for when times are good, it's for when times are tough. I'm going to talk about some of those things and my concerns. I'm not the only one concerned here. The people of Saskatchewan are very concerned. I represent a big group of people, 10,000 people, and I hear their stories, and some of them are really heartbreaking. For example, the business sector. The government has created policies that seem to punish small business the most. They're forcing small business to segregate society into 2 different groups of people. They're closing businesses while allowing big box stores, big corporations to be open, therefore leading everyone to those businesses instead of the small one. I have people calling me saying they've lost their business or they're about to lose their business, that they can't keep this up. And they've tried contacting their government, they tried contacting their MLAs, and it's going on deaf ears. One of your guiding principles is that you want to be a less intrusive government. I don't know of a time in my life where the government has been as intrusive as this government has been. You've somehow found a way to make your way into our homes, into our businesses, into our workplaces. It doesn't matter, into every aspect of our lives. I used to be able to ignore politics. In fact, I never got involved in politics. I never cared for politics, but we've kind of come to a point where we don't really get that choice anymore because politics has become our entire life. We're waiting the next day. What's the next policy that's going to come up? What's the next restriction that's going to come up? And the defense of you didn't know about it doesn't really apply. So you constantly have to look for it. I'm constantly waiting. What's the next erosion of my freedom going to be? Are they going to tell me tomorrow who I can have at my kitchen house? Who I can be friends with? It's gone to an extreme. So So that point, I would say, is one of the biggest guiding principles that you guys have strayed the furthest away from. One of your principles talks about having a high quality healthcare system. I can't say that this is the best we've ever had. I think we can all agree the entire province, we're in the worst state we've ever had. And you like to blame it on the unvaccinated and on COVID, but I think it's time you take accountability that the problems with our healthcare system didn't start with COVID. We had huge underfunding for our healthcare system. And one of the biggest problems that I see, that my husband talks about, and some of the nurses that have approached me, is there's too much bureaucrat making way too much money, taking away the funds where they're mostly needed, which is with the front care workers, the people who work with the patients at a direct level. Too much red tape and less caring, I would say. My husband, being a family physician, is extremely concerned with some of the ethics that's coming out of this pandemic. The fact that medical consent is pretty much non-existent. It has to be without fear, coercion, and fully informed, which is a huge problem in this province. You have jobs being threatened, government saying they're going to punish you because you're not vaccinated. Scott Moe, when you said, "I've had enough patience with you, the time for patience is over," that's not how you should be talking to the people of Saskatchewan. I think you forgot that you are supposed to represent the people of Saskatchewan, not rule over them. Scott Moe, me as a retired police officer, my husband as a family physician, and the people of Saskatchewan are really concerned with the direction this province is going. This is not who we are. This division and hate that's all around us is not who we are. And I think you need to really consider the direction you want this province to go. I'd love to say that you're representing the people, you're doing this in the best interest of the people, but I'm not 100% sure that's who your alliances are. I'm starting to question if perhaps you are doing what Trudeau wants or Ottawa wants. Last week you threw out there you're going to try to fight for a fair deal from Saskatchewan. It kind of came out of nowhere. I think you forgot to read the room a little bit. One of your guiding principles talks about democratic processes. I understand we have an emergency order right now that was called on by the Emergency Act. As a police officer, I know what those are for. We actually get trained on them. It's times where you don't really have time to do the proper democratic processes like forest fire, flooding. We don't have time for that. We've been in this process now for over 2 years. Are you really telling me that you didn't have time to do a democratic process when it comes to the policy that you're implementing on the people of Saskatchewan? Are you telling me that 2 years is not enough time to ask the people what they want, ask the people if maybe they have ideas? Saskatchewan is known as one of the most innovative provinces. We have people who have really strong ingenuity, and you haven't used any of that. You seem to surround yourself with these bureaucrats, these big corporation, SHA, Saskatchewan Teachers Federation, all of that. Are you bringing the real people of Saskatchewan to the table when you're making these decisions and policies? Are you looking at your guiding principles? I'd like to think you are, but your actions are showing that you're not. The key to a good leader is someone who unites the people. Can you say, Scott, that you've done that in the last year? Can you say that you worked on uniting the province? What started as we're all in this together has really took a turn. And our organization started on October 2nd. We created an event on October 2nd. And we've gathered over 10,000 people in this province who really aren't okay with the direction it's going. Are you going to do something about that? Or are we going to have to start doing something on our own? I understand you don't really have an opposition at the moment, well, a valuable one. But maybe it's time we change that. Maybe it's time we find people who are willing to represent the people, who are willing to listen to the small business owners, to listen to the true heart of Saskatchewan. I hope the people who are watching this, including you, Scott Moe, I hope they really start to think about what's been happening in the last 2 years and to start thinking, is there a way we can do it better? Have we really done everything we could in the best interest of the people of Saskatchewan? And I say that again, best interest in the people of Saskatchewan, no one else. That's how Scott Moe should be governing. And perhaps we have to look at a different alternative. Scott, the people of Saskatchewan are not okay with the direction this province is going. A group like mine shows you exactly that. 10,000 people since September. If you're watching this from the province of Saskatchewan and you have the same concerns I have and you want to voice those concerns, since the government won't listen to you, maybe they'll listen to us the more we have. I strongly believe in uniting the province. If you're interested in finding out about us, you can go to our website, unifiedgrassroots.com, where you'll be able to get connected that way. We're also on social media if you search with the same. We also have a slogan in Unified Grassroots. Our slogan is "We stand for all." And what that means is we stand for all against division, hate, discrimination, coercion. We're not an anti-vax group. We're not an anti-mask group. We are an anti-division group, an anti-hate group. And I strongly encourage you guys to join us. And Scott, I'm asking you, would you take my call this time? I know you didn't last time. Will you meet with us? We'd love to have a presentation for you. We'd love to have a sit down. Are you going to do that? Or are you going to do what you've been doing this whole time and just ignore the people of Saskatchewan? I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you. The ball's in your court. I know for a fact the people of Saskatchewan are not okay with the direction this province is going. I think you've severely underestimated us. You've underestimated what the true heart of Saskatchewan is. True North, strong and free.